Holiday volunteering and the United Way of Greater St. Louis, next on City Corner. Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome to City Corner. Well, the holiday season is upon us, and this is the season of giving and sharing and spreading joy. But how do we do that in meaningful ways? And so today we're going to talk about holiday volunteering. And of course, we reached out to our friends over at the United Way of Greater St. Louis to talk about it because they have this great holiday volunteer guide online, and we're going to get into all those details. I'm joined by Rick Skinner, who is the Vice President of the Volunteer Center at the United Way of Greater St. Louis. Thank you for being here and coming, and it's a busy time.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
I know. Well, I love that the United Way is a resource in so many ways for our region. So there's that, firstly. But I love on this topic when we talk about volunteering, specifically at the holiday times, that you have this guide online that can really help direct people get into holiday volunteering.
You bet. We love making the opportunity to volunteer on things that you care about, that your family cares about, and making it as easy as possible. That's why we created stlvolunteer.org and a special guide where you can, at a keystroke, find something that you and your family can do, either from the comfort of your own home or out in the community, because now, even though the pandemic is still here, there are some opportunities where you can make a difference in the community, and we want to help get you connected. So that's why you can go to our holiday volunteer guide. We'll give you the address in just a second. Yeah. But to find something that you're exactly looking forward to doing.
Well, we're going to run some B-roll essentially of the guide. So tell me about this. I mean, how do you specifically, how does this all come together? I mean, we're looking at it now, so you go into...
Yeah, so this is the Stl Volunteer site, stlvolunteer.org, and you simply click, you actually go to stlvolunteer.org/HVG, which stands for Holiday Volunteer Guide. And as you can see on the screen, you can just point and click on something. Every opportunity has a picture attached to it. Mm-hmm. So you can say, oh, that looks interesting to me. Let me learn more about it. You can click on, and it's an opportunity perhaps that might be ongoing, or maybe it's on a specific day and time. It's a wide variety of opportunities. And it's not simply with agencies that are funded by United Way. Our United Way is well known for funding health and human service agencies. But our volunteer center here in St. Louis, we work with hundreds of other types of organizations too. Think of arts and culture, or even municipalities like the city, or a community out in the county. We cover 16 counties across Missouri and Illinois, so you can imagine the wide variety of experiences to make a difference, especially when students are coming back home for the holidays, or you might have friends and family that you want to get together with and have some fellowship, but then doing something good on a Saturday or on an evening or a weekend or any time that you like. There's going to be something there for you based on what you like to do.
Yeah, well, I want to get into like some of the, so when you're on it, and there's multiple pages you can see as we're looking at the video there, you click through the different pages. Talk about, I mean, so there's a lot to cover, and I know we can't get into all of them, but maybe run through just some highlights of when you mentioned students, for example, so college students coming home. If they want to do something significant other than, just obviously meeting up with friends, but let's say, hey, we want to do a volunteer project, what might be something?
There are so many opportunities that could be aligned to what you're studying in school, or maybe you have to fulfill a requirement of some type. Maybe you're in elementary school, or maybe you're in high school and you need to fulfill a service requirement for graduation or for a merit badge or things like that. Or maybe you're studying a certain topic like psychology or anthropology, or you name it. There's going to be a volunteer experience that's aligned with that. So on the slides that you saw in the video, there are opportunities to virtually volunteer. So you can do something where you're maybe making wellness calls to senior citizens that might be in a independent living facility, or maybe even a community served by one of our partner agencies. Just to say, I'm thinking of you, want to make a difference. Or maybe you're putting together a comfort kit of things that a senior citizen or a person with disability, or maybe a new mom might enjoy. So there's lots of do-it-yourself guides in there, helping first responders and thanking them for their heroic efforts every day. There's opportunities there. Or even helping at an event. I know that the St. Louis Zoo has opportunities. I'm looking at my notes here.
Yeah, we have. I think that's in some of the video
directing guests during an event, helping with children's activities at Wildlights at the St. Louis Zoo, or even helping support supporting the Gateway Arch Park Foundation and some of the activities they have there, whether it's a cleanup event, or maybe you care about the arts, or maybe you care about helping kiddos or helping adults. There's going to be something exciting there. So that's why that's all organized for you. So at a keystroke, you can find something really easily.
And if you keep, I know in the video, when you keep going through the different pages, that you, as you mentioned, there's these do-it-yourself projects as well. And then, as you mentioned, I think there's the wild lights on there for the zoo. I know something that's come up a lot, even with my own life with having children. I'll want them to volunteer, but sometimes there's restrictions on ages with volunteering. Do you have any recommendations for projects or opportunities that you might have listed in your guide for families to do?
You bet. A lot of the opportunities are family friendly. And actually, at the Volunteer Center at United Way, we do your homework for you to find out, because there are some age restrictions. You might have to be a certain age to volunteer, let's say at a hospital or something like that. But we want to, we get calls all the time. What can my 12-year-old do? What can my teenager do? Yes, we get calls. What can my 6-year-old do? What can my 2-year-old do to volunteer? And so that's why each opportunity has those parameters listed, so you can feel comfortable in bringing your family. An example might be maybe helping at an organization that helps those that are working with clients that might be homeless or at risk of being homeless. And so maybe helping in their clothing depot, and maybe your little one is learning color recognition or big versus small as you're working together as a family. So there's opportunities absolutely to help teach those valuable ideals to your children, so that they might get excited when they get older and want to volunteer and bring their friends and make a difference. And so that's the whole point, and the beauty of connecting with United Way's Volunteer Center is helping to make a difference on issues that you care about and how we can connect you really easily.
Right. Well, you're obviously year-round working with volunteers because with your job, but with the holidays, what do you notice is so unique about, do you think it's unique to the holiday season where we talk about giving, which is how and why people, it's kind of a jump start into volunteering, or do you think there's more opportunities? Or?
It's a great introduction, for especially if you're coming back home for the holidays after being away on business or at school or whatever. And it is that time of home and hearth and fellowship and all that. And so there's no greater way to get connected than around the holidays, and it's like, let's do something for an hour or so, and coming away knowing you've made a difference. And I think that is a springboard for year-round engagement as well too. I had so much fun doing this over the holiday season. What about in February? What about in March? What about this spring, this summer, and things like that? And so the one click away through stlvolunteer.org is a great way to get connected. Companies too are wanting to get their team members get engaged again in the community. And now that hopefully some people are working remotely, but others are back at the office as well too. So how can I build my team together and make a difference? So in addition to the financial support that United Way receives each and every year, which we're so grateful for, but also how to make a difference and make an impact and drive that impact through a volunteer engagement experience. So whether it's putting a kit together through our Service to Go program, or volunteering at a park or at an agency that we partner with to bring that message home of how do you make that difference. And I can't tell you, there's so many stories of all the things that we hear about. Once they've made that commitment of they helped they helped deliver meals somewhere, or they helped put together some kits that went towards supporting people that needed resources. Just the feedback we get from that, boy, that was so much fun, and I really felt like I made a difference. So there is the power of one, the power of many that can make a difference in moving that mission forward.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was actually just going to lead to you, is that feedback that you get to, because there is something about being a part of your community, giving to your community. I mean, that is the quintessential sort of part of life, right? Giving to others. And so volunteering is a great way to do that. And I love that, like you were saying with the guide, you can find something that fits, whether it's for the whole family. I saw in there even like doing greeting cards and stuff that you can do easily. You mentioned corporate too. So I mean, if somebody's watching this at home for their business, can they go to the online guide and find opportunities for like a work project or a outing for, instead of doing a holiday lunch, but maybe it's a volunteer project?
Sure, that is one opportunity to connect through the holiday guide. A company can also reach out to us directly, and we can either customize an experience based on what their pillars are. We care about financial stability, or we're all about whatever those topics are, and we can align your business goals, the organization's business goals, with an opportunity that's meaningful for your staff and for your team, but also meaningful for the community as well too. So it's a win-win for all. So that's a great opportunity as well too. We can also equip your staff members to serve on boards, which is another volunteer opportunity as well too. Serving in a leadership role, serving on a board of directors, or as a member of a committee of a nonprofit. Nonprofits are so thirsty and hungry for those skills that students, that business leaders bring to the table. So even if you are a student studying a specific topic, you can take what you're learning in school and apply that to a meaningful experience without making a long-term commitment. Board members, of course, that's more of a commitment than just a one-time and done, but we just run the spectrum of that. And so anything that you're interested in, the United Way's Volunteer Center is the one-stop shop to make that happen.
Oh, I like that. No, I want to come back when we do that for the second segment and get into more what you're doing year-round outside of the holidays. Also to talk about for how other nonprofits can register if they need volunteers. So we're going to get into that. For now, I'm going to put some information on the screen for you. If you are interested in volunteering, which I hope you are this holiday season, go to stlvolunteer.org/HVG. That stands for the Holiday Volunteer Guide that Rick and his team and everyone at United Way has put together. It's really comprehensive, and as we say, it's a digital guide of all local holiday-related volunteer opportunities between now and the end of the year through December 31st. And then we've got one more screen for you too. This is just general if you want to reach out to the United Way. That does tremendous work year-round, so much work. That's the phone number on the screen for you. You can always email stl volunteer@stl.unitedway.org or go to helpingpeople.org. But we're going to get into more of the holiday volunteering discussion. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home. Yeah, it's so sad. It's not.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. But don't just imagine. Use STEM to change the world.
Who's with me?
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. So come and experience St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Sarah Thompson, and welcome back to City Corner. Today we're talking about volunteering during the holiday season with the United Way of Greater St. Louis, and I'm joined by Rick Skinner, who is the Vice President of the Volunteer Center at the United Way of Greater St. Louis. Thank you again for being here.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, Sarah.
I love that. You've got great energy in talking about, this is the time to do it. I mean, really, there's a point that comes, I think, in everyone's life where you really have to think about giving back to the community and what does that mean, and giving to others and sharing. And I love that you've created this resource so people can do that during the holiday season to make it that much more meaningful.
You bet. In fact, I was going to wear like a holiday sweater to be in the spirit even more, but it's 70 degrees today. But anyway, but you're right, Sarah. It's just a great way to bring some resources together so that your viewers can really, take whatever their passion is and to make a difference on things that they care about and do it as easy as possible. So whether it's one time, ongoing, you name it. So you're right. You were touching on the value of volunteering, and yes, it's so meaningful for the community and those that are served, but it also is important for the individual and the families that are volunteering as well too. So maybe you're wanting to take the skills that you've learned. Let's pretend that if you're a retiree or soon to retire, maybe to take your skills and apply that to a volunteer experience. Or maybe you want to test drive something brand new that you've never tried before. Volunteering can open the doors for you in that respect too. Or maybe you're wanting to get more information about a specific field that you're studying. So volunteering can give you that experience that might set yourself apart from others that are maybe applying for that first job, or maybe trying to get into that school or whatever, that you can, just really set yourself apart from others. So absolutely, volunteering makes a difference for those that you're serving. It makes a difference for the community, but there's also benefits to you and to your family as well too. And that's why at United Way, we want to make it as easy as possible for you to really get connected in the best way possible. So those agencies that we mentioned that are in the guide, those agencies that we work with in the Volunteer Center, are not only the 164 agencies that United Way of Greater St. Louis funds across Missouri and Illinois, but it's many, many other organizations as well too, whether it's arts and culture or institutions of higher learning or museums and parks and recreational programs, you name it. We run the whole gamut, and that's why this resource is so valuable for our community.
So with the Holiday Volunteer Guide, if somebody listening to this is affiliated with a nonprofit and they are not a United Way connected, like partner nonprofit, they can still list if they're looking for volunteers this holiday season?
Absolutely. In fact, there's an easy way to do that on that first page on stlvolunteer.org/HVG. There's a section for nonprofits to say, yeah, we're looking for volunteers for an upcoming event or for an ongoing experience. It's really easy for that organization to get connected. So yeah, you bet. We work with lots of organizations. We will make sure that they are legitimate organizations and vet them, if you will. Make sure that those postings match our criteria so that they can get volunteers recruited immediately. It's a really great way to get those volunteers that you need.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I know sometimes when people associate or think of the United Way, they think you have to be connected in a deeper way. So I appreciate you explaining that.
Absolutely.
While we're on the topic with this time of year, something that United Way has always been involved with, 100 Neediest Cases, and this is maybe a little bit different than thinking about volunteering like at for a day event or something. Talk about a bit more about the 100 Neediest
Sure.
Cases.
100 Neediest Cases will be celebrating its 100th year next year. And in fact, our United Way of Greater St. Louis celebrates our 100th birthday next year. So this is a partnership that we've had for almost a century with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And it is an opportunity to actually we serve more than 100 cases, if you will, but 100 of those cases, whether it's families or individuals needing assistance, to make the holidays a little bit brighter for them. We'll work with a host of organizations and agency partners to feature those stories And through their case managers of those organizations, that's how the assistance is helped. So you can adopt a family through 100 Neediest Cases, and that's around this time of year as well too. They might have a wish list of clothing or toys or items just to make that family's holiday a little bit brighter. And through our partnerships, through 100 Neediest Cases and our partnership with St. Louis Post-Dispatch, we're able to make those connections and provide opportunities not only for 100 cases, but for thousands of cases throughout the holiday season. And that's something that we have, it's a time-honored tradition over the years. And so that's a different component within our United Way of Greater St. Louis, but a long-standing history throughout the holidays. And so we work very closely with those case managers to make sure that those needs are met in addition to your year-long needs that are met through your support of United Way. So I appreciate you lifting that up because that's a really fun, and we have students from all around the region with artwork that depicts what does 100 Neediest Cases do, what's the impact of that. So we had volunteers just recently make the decisions on what are those artworks that are gonna be featured in the newspaper, and that's another long-standing tradition too.
I remember that every year, and I remember growing up, we did for our school, our class would adopt a case or a family story, and it's still very impactful. I still very much remember that, even though it was so many years ago. We have all these photos that reflect the year-round volunteer projects that go on, and we can kind of roll some of them. I want to ask you, because here you are at the Volunteer Center and looking at all these operations going on, when people think, I don't have maybe the time, or I don't know if I'm the best person to do this, what do you say? Because it doesn't have to, I think commitment. I think there's that part where people have a desire to help, but they don't feel that they either have the money or the adequate time. How would you sort of say, could it just be like a couple hours? Could it be commitment? How do you address that when people come to you about that hesitation, sort of overriding when the need is really great?
You bet. And the pictures that we're seeing on screen are wonderful opportunities to make a difference. And a lot of them are large-scale projects. This one, for example, that we're looking at right now is a meal pack that we did on 9/11 Day a couple of years back. And so that was a large-scale event. But you mentioned, what can someone do to make an impact for an hour? Well, you can make an impact in just 10 seconds if you want to. So virtual volunteering and micro volunteering specifically are not brand new concepts. Virtual volunteering has been around for quite some time. The pandemic, though, has really lifted that up. What can I do remotely, or what can I do at my home where I don't have to go out in the community to do things? One thing that we're seeing, I mentioned micro volunteering, where you can make an impact for 10 seconds, is something that we're learning about. I serve with an organization called the Points of Light organization, which is like the Global Volunteer Center. My team also works with me and serve on task forces and committees for United Way Worldwide. So we're seeing that micro-volunteering, where you can, say if you're on the grounds at the St. Louis Arch and maybe an organization says, I need a picture of the Arch right now and I want to see something that's happening right this very moment. That could be something you can do on your smartphone. All of us seem to have smartphones today, where maybe an organization is looking for, I want your opinion on this new logo idea we're thinking of, or your idea about this thought that we have. Give us your pulse, give us your thoughts on that right away. And so you can volunteer. It takes less, while you're waiting in line at the store, you can say, I can answer that poll in 10 seconds. That's making a difference too. So yeah, to answer your question kind of in a broad sense, you can make a difference in 10 seconds. You can make a difference with your family for an hour or so during an evening or weekend or during the week, or your company can make a difference ongoing by imparting your skills, teaching clients. What does it mean to volunteer? The volunteer experience is there, but maybe that volunteer experience is teaching clients to freshen up their interview skills, so practicing their interview skills when they're applying for their first job, or resume workshops and looking at that. That could be something that's meaningful that helps the clients as well as imparting your skills. I know that we have a relationship with one of our organizations in town where they developed a website to help agencies articulate what their needs are during times of crisis like the pandemic. So if agency A needs diapers size A and agency B has ample supplies of diapers size whatever, the agencies can talk with one another through technology. So that's a volunteer experience as well. So it runs the gamut, absolutely.
Well, and I've learned something new today with micro-volunteering. I hadn't really thought about it in that capacity. I mean, it fits so much to where we're at with even just people doing one-off jobs sometimes like that, but then to apply that in a volunteer sense. We're gonna run, I came across your campaign for 2021 and it's really powerful.
Yes.
And we're gonna take a look at that. Could you sort of set it up up for us. This is your 2021 campaign.
Sure. Every year we raise, and we're so appreciative of the community raising so many dollars to help 1 in 3 people who live here. What you're about to see is our 2021 campaign video, which kind of sets the stage about what is this community about. And we're all together in one region, and we all have, different communities that we live in, and how are we united together to help people live their best possible lives. So that's what we're about to see.
All right, thank you. Thanks for setting up. We're going to take a look. Here it is.
A feeling as powerful as the mighty rivers that flow here. You can feel it in the air, see it blowing in the trees. It's etched into us, and us into it. This is our home. From gravel driveways to no driveways. Chairs to listen to a story, or chairs that tell a story. Bridges from another time, and bridges to another place. This landscape is as varied as those who call it home. Here, we're driven by what unites us, not divides us. Because what happens to one of us, happens to all of us. This is why we care. This is why we fight for each other, why we fight to keep families in their homes, to provide a warm meal and a safe space, to give our children the foundation they need to grow and learn. But we do much more. We provide stability, support, and comfort. We nurture, tutor, and counsel. We supply the tools to dream, achieve, and thrive. As a united community, we can make our home a beacon of hope, a place that's better, stronger, and more equitable for all. Together with United Way, we can elevate each other, elevate our community, elevate our home. Join us in helping here.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm going to try not to tear up on that note. It's really beautiful. I think it speaks volumes to our region, to our community, and to the work that you're doing. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it is our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And very quickly, we're going to throw on the screen for you the graphic to reach out to the United Way, or if you're interested in volunteering this holiday season, head to stlvolunteer.org/HBG. And the next slide is just as the promo showed, the video you just watched, helpingpeople.org. It's just this time of year, I think we reflect on this past year and then also reach out to help others. Thank you, Rick, again, for being here. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And thank you at home for joining us, and keep it right here on STL TV Experience St. Louis.